Hey, welcome back to UCO SSS presents Breakdown, a UCO survival guide to get you through college. And on this special episode, viewer discretion is advised. Let me go ahead and just get that out first. But it's going to be a little hot in here because we're going to be talking about some sexual health. And I have Miss Katie Burnett here. So, Katie, just tell us a little bit on your background.
Okay, so I am a new public health major first semester, and I had conducted a 50-hour practicum at the State Department of Health, and I had learned so many good things.
Yeah, I got Miss Katie Burnett here. She's experienced in sexual health because she's been researching. You said 50 hours, correct?
Yes.
50 hours. So it's safe to say she's very credible in what she's talking about here. But on this episode, we're going to talk about overall sexual health. We're going to talk about some preventative tactics in maintaining sexual health because sexual health, I think, is very important for college students because in high school, in my case, in 2018, sexual health really wasn't talked about as much. And so I feel like this episode is important because in college, if you're going to have sex, which is in some cases you are, let's just do it the right way. So that's what this episode is here for. So, Katie, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
What is sexual health?
All right, so sexual health can be many things. That can be getting your daily, your daily breast exams for women. Sexual health can be your just knowing your overall body, and as a man, just knowing your overall body. Getting your getting your annually checkups. If you're feeling funny, things like that nature, to go to the doctor. Just kind of being mindful of what you do, no sharing of drinks because, with sexual health, you can, kind of get diseases that way. And then getting down to the nitty gritty, making sure that you're staying protected. We're wearing our condoms. As well as if you want to be proactive, you guys can get on PrEP. And so PrEP is like a pre-exposure. So it's a daily thing that you would intake, to be preventative just in case, anything that goes on.
So before we get too deep into that, sexual health is, I heard you say getting your breast checked. So
yes.
Mammograms is a part of the
sexual health. Yes, just knowing what's going on. I think that's important because sexual health can be literally just your overall body. You need to be comfortable with your own body before you're interacting with someone else. And so I feel those things you don't even realize how much things affect you. And then even as a male, making sure genitals are in order. Maybe, you don't notice you have a bump, or maybe you have, even for women, making sure you're checking yourself, because you never know.
That's a good point because I think sexual health is kind of a very vague subject to talk about. And whenever you talk about sexual health, that's one of the first things that a lot of people think about is, the business downstairs as far as but you don't think of your overall body. Yeah. They don't, because when you said, breast, I'm that's a part of the sexual health umbrella. And I guess it is.
Yeah, it's almost everything, even when you your urine, making sure you're knowing what's going on with that, the colors of that. I mean, you can even think about even when people number two, looking at that those can be very early on indicators, as well as even mental, because say you have an undiagnosed disease or infection, and it can go untreated for so long, you can even get neurosyphilis. So wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because, and the thing that I find funny about it is because sometimes whenever a person says that they're in good sex health, they just mean that I ain't tested for nothing.
Yeah, and there's so many things because when you go and get tested, they only test you for the things that are huge right now. They don't test you for everything. You have to specifically go in and ask, I want to be tested for this, this, and this. Because typically when you go in, they don't test you for AIDS or they don't test you for syphilis. They only test you for maybe gonorrhea, chlamydia, I can't even think of all the other ones, but they, those are the main ones.
Okay. So in other words, in order to define what is great sexual health, because, I just sit there and gave a pretty much, I think everyone who thinks what good sexual health is a good what their explanation is. But in your case, because, with all these other aspects that involve sexual health, what is considered being in good sexual health?
Okay. I think we could let's try to keep it to three things. I think for one, if you're not sexually active, then that's great sexual health. You know what I mean? And then for two, if you are sexually active, I think making sure that you guys are doing things properly, like wearing the condoms, making sure, you are, what is it I'm trying to say? Making sure you're just wearing your condoms, and then if you don't like condoms, then making sure you're doing other barrier methods to prevent the spread of HIV or whatever. And then I think if you get your annual checkups, and even after every partner, going to get like a sexual health screen. I think those are like the main three things. Oh, drink your water.
Drink your water. Okay. So water plays a role in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Elaborate.
I mean, just like men and women, like, when you are doing the do, like, like water is like, you kind of, because sometimes when people have like odors, like, you don't, or underlying odors, or say like, during this, whatever people like, it just depends, like those, those bodily fluids are just like, they're slinging everywhere. Like, you just want to make sure like you're constantly, cleaning yourself out with drinking that water, going to the bathroom regularly, things like that.
Okay. So in other words, what you're saying is as long as water helps cleanse you out, and sometimes if you're not drinking a whole bunch of water and stuff, like the bodily fluids can be they're very visible in sex.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's where like lube comes in. So maybe like if women, aren't drinking enough water, or say like men who don't drink enough water and say they like, ejaculate, sometimes like that can get like, that can infect people. Like just in the sense of like if the woman doesn't go to the bathroom after, or say they have an underlying like issue, it can mix with the woman's fluids, and then they could just become a big issue, like yeast infections and stuff like that. And then I was saying like with water, making sure like you're hydrated, because you can also use things like lubricants, but making sure that they are for your body, because I know a lot of people, they get like real sensitive to certain condoms and certain, but making sure like you're just choosing the right ones for you.
Would you consider lubricant as one of the preventative measures in sexual health? Okay.
No, not at all. It's there to...
It's a myth.
Yeah.
What are some common STIs in college students? Because after all, this is a college podcast. Yeah.
Man, oh my gosh. Everything under the sun, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything. Those are all. So any STI is common in a college student.
Yes. Trick, the clap, like
chlamydia,
gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV.
In college students, HIV is common.
Yeah, it's like, and I feel like I was like ignorant, and I used to think like women couldn't get HIV for some reason. I thought that was like a man thing. Like I don't know why, but I thought it was like a man-to-man thing. Like I never thought like women could get it, and then like. 'Cause
I guess the only cases that you heard were in men.
And so like I feel like obviously educating a little bit more, like just learning like like everyone can get it, and you know what I mean. And it's like one of those things where like, and where I love about like PrEP and PEP, and so like if you feel like you have had post-exposure, you have 72 hours to go to any of these Oklahoma like testing sites, and they can provide you guys with a preventative care. It's not 100% bulletproof, but it is going to help prevent, if any, like, real cases of you thinking you are exposed.
So, okay, awesome. So let's go ahead. You just got us into the next segment, preventative tactics. So you said PrEP and PEP?
Yeah, so PrEP would be more of like a preventative thing. It is a pre-exposure prophylaxis, I think that's what the word is. Am I correct? So PrEP is a pre-exposure prophylaxis. So PrEP, when taken daily by people who are HIV negative, can reduce the risk of getting HIV from sex by over 90% and reduces the risk by more than 70% among people who inject drugs. So people also who inject drugs, it can help, prevent them from getting HIV as well, because you can still get STIs from sharing. And so you can get it not only from sexual encounters, but sharing needles. You can get it also from skin-to-skin contact, kissing, sharing food, and sharing drinks.
Eesh, okay.
Yeah.
And PEP is more, and you said, so is PrEP and PEP, are they both preventative measures, or is PEP afterwards?
Yeah, so PEP is afterwards. PEP is like you did the dig, you saw on Twitter, so-and-so's passing around the HIV, and like you go...
and you're dirty.
You're dirty, so you gotta like, oh snap! So then you go to a Oklahoma site, a county, local office, and you go and you get PEP so that you can try to, it's it's not preventative, but it's proactive. You going there to go get, treated.
Okay, and where can students get this information at? Because I'm looking at it. This is a QR code. What is the name of this
Yeah.
website that we're
And
talking
so
about?
this is basically the Oklahoma Department of Health. There's definitely going to be some links down below to all of this like great nature of things, all of these things. So much great information. There's plenty of places across the state, many places across the state that can provide, the services and also will provide free services.
Okay, cool. I think we had talked about it a little bit with about still getting tested even in a relationship.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about the importance in communicating with your partner about sexual health because some men in some cases can take offense whenever whenever their partner comes to them and says, hey, let's practice sexual safe let's practice safe sexual safe safe sexual health.
Yes, safe sexual health.
Yeah. But what are some ways to make it very approachable with your partner? Because some people some people can find it offensive.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it sounds offensive, and I think just sexual health is like in the stigma around it is very like taboo. Like everyone's like ooh and I just feel like it shouldn't be something that's very like to talk about or uncomfortable because like when you doing the when you're in the act like you're not uncomfortable, so it's almost like I feel like it can be an easier conversation.
It should be reversed.
Yeah, it should be reversed. I feel like, but some people it is what it is, but I think making it easy, like just like having it like a conversation. So like like coming to your partner like, oh my gosh, like I've learned so much, like have you heard about this? Almost like going into it like not like, oh I learned this, we need to blah 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 blah, like we need to almost like, oh like look what I heard, like or look what I like looked up, like I think this is very great information, what do you think? It almost kind of opening up that conversation to where it's a two-way street and it's not just a one way like we need to start doing this.
Good point.
I think that'll make it an easier like conversation.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And one of those practices in talking to your partner about sex health is going to get tested. And, if you tell your partner, hey, I need you to get tested or whatever, that can be very offensive. But let's talk about the process in getting tested for an STI because that is one of the hidden treasures of being on any college campus because most college campuses, I would like to say, all offer some form of STI testing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process in that.
Yeah, I think on here on campus at the Center for Wellbeing, I believe it's called, in Thatcher Hall, it's on the first floor. They have a center where I believe a doctor comes in twice a week, but again, we will link all the information below. And they can do, I believe it's free testing, or if you have insurance, they, use your insurance. But for the most part, I do think it is like free. They provide condoms down there. They provide a whole bunch of information for people, wanting to understand and get to know more.
Okay. Oh, I see you got some condoms here and stuff like this.
Yes.
What is these bad boys here? What's going on with
All
these?
right, so this is when you got this in your pocket, you at your girl house or you at your partner house, and you just like whip it out, and it's like you pull out a condom, you close it back up, and then you just get back. Like it's stylish. Like let's start making
Stylish. It's stylish. Okay. I don't know if I pull this out in there. Yeah. I think it's very, as far as like easy for them to get whipped or anything like that.
Also, what's very, very, very important that I did not know is keeping condoms at a good temperature. Don't leave condoms in your car. Like if you leave them in your car at very hot or very cold temperatures, it can, because the condom itself has its own type of lubricant on them. And so if you leave it in very cold or very hot temperatures, it can break, and it's receptible to breaking and or not being effective. And so these are to help so that they're not in your so say as a woman or a man, you have this in your pocket or or in a bag or something. This is to help like protect it, because as women, like, we throw our earrings, we throw everything like in our bag, and it might puncture. And as a man, I mean, you never know, but just sitting down, standing up, like things in your pocket, this is to help like that friction and it not bend and things like that. So it's to keep the condom safe. So
Okay.
there's that too.
I have never been introduced to these until today. Might need to keep one of these.
You can. Go ahead and put it in your pocket. I don't know what you be doing.
But are they comfortable in the, like? I mean, but like as far as
I don't know. Let's see.
do they help maintain, like, because this is very big as far as, and men, we kind of like to keep extra space in our pockets, but we like to keep extra space in our pockets because we have our wallet, our phone, and our keys, and this to kind of be added to the stack, make it a little obvious,
I mean, that's where the man bags come in.
It seems a little inconvenience.
Get you a man bag.
A fanny pack,
Get a fanny pack. Get a waist pack. I love the
These are good fanny packs, y'all. 2023 styling, This is Katie, it was awesome to have you on the show. Guys, we're just going to take a quick break. We're going to wrap it up with an outro. UCO SSS presents Breakdown, a college survival guide through college. And it's that time for the game, the interactive game. And once again, I find myself back in the hot seat in Factor Cap. Factor Cap is coming back, and that is when the guest here is going to read to me 7 questions, and I just have to confirm if they're a fact or is it cap. Are you ready?
Ready. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. You can get an STI by just touching. Fact or cap?
Cap. You can get it just by touching somebody?
Touching, skin-to-skin contact. I said that.
Yeah.
Yes. Your skin is the largest body's organ.
Well, there you go. All right.
Ray, 0. Health, 1. All right. The only way to prevent unwanted pregnancy is abstinence. Fact or cap?
Cap. That's not the only one way.
Really?
Yeah. Unwanted pregnancies?
Yes.
I didn't hear that word.
Oh.
All right.
Ray, 0. Health, 2. Sex is the only way to contract an STI. Fact or cap?
Cap.
Cap.
Yeah, because it wouldn't. I mean, like, you're not having sex in skin-to-skin contact. Exactly. Remember? All right.
A condom can break if you don't leave about half an inch from the tip. Fact or cap?
Dang, man. I am going to. Can you read that again? Can you read the question again?
A condom can break if you don't leave about half an inch from the tip.
Yes, fact.
Fact. It is fact. It is. All right. Only one partner should worry about protecting during sex.
Cap.
Both partners or multiple partners. Whatever.
However you want to do it.
All right. The pull-out method is foolproof. Fact or cap?
Foolproof. Cap.
Foolproof.
Oh, man.
Definitely cap. All right. Now the last one. You might not know, but it's just funny to ask. All right. Plan B is foolproof way to prevent unwanted pregnancy.
I am going to say cap.
Cap. It definitely is cap.
I've seen pregnancies happen when the woman was on the kid.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Well, all right, guys, we're all out of time right here on this episode. Thank you for listening, and it was a pleasure to have you, Miss Katie. You can find various clips of this episode on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. You can find the full video to this podcast on our YouTube channel. But until next time, I'm Ray, and we are outie.